G'day guys, Fitcho here, and welcome back to my World Rallycross career mode here on Dirt 4. It has been a while since I've uploaded this series. Since then, I went on holiday, and then as soon as I got back, F1 2018 was already out, and a lot of hype around such a big game like that. I wanted to focus on that in terms of the YouTube channel for those couple of weeks, but now that hype's died down, it's time to bring back a bit of Rallycross content into the mix, and we're here for episode number 5 of this series, and I'm really excited to get back into this. The announcement of Dirt Rally 2.0 just a couple days ago has really got me wanting to make dirt content again. I still wanted to make dirt content, obviously, but it's just reinvigorated me even more so than, say, I was before. That game, I'm really looking forward to it. A return to the Dirt Rally side of things compared to Dirt 4, so a more simulation style thing, especially on the rally side. But the thing that has me the most excited is the expanded World Rallycross content they are going to have in the game. I did do a video on this, sort of breaking down the trailer, focusing on the World RX stuff, but just to sum it up pretty much, we get the EKS Audis finally in the game, and we get 4 new tracks, up to 8 tracks, of course, losing Linden Hill as it isn't a part of the game, with the potential of more tracks coming in the future. So we're up to 8, potential we could even get up to the full 12 by the end of Dirt Rally 2.0 on the World RX calendar, and that would be a full season, and you don't understand how happy that would make me. But enough rambling about Dirt Rally 2.0. That is still 5 months away or something, so we still have a lot of time to have a bit of fun here on Dirt 4, and don't worry, I'm going to be doing exactly that. And today we're here for episode number 5 of this series, which happens to be the finale of Season 1, of course. Only 5 tracks on this game, so we're doing 5 round seasons. I did actually leave it at a sort of awkward point after the first 4 rounds going into the finale, but nonetheless, we're going to head to Loheac today for a lot of fun racing in our DS3. Now, quickly looking at the championship, pretty much through consistency, I am sitting on top. Only one driver can really challenge me to win the title off me, and that is Timmy Hansen. Mathematically, Backert and Solberg can equal me on the points in the championship, but they'd have to win, go top qualifier, win their semi, win the final, and I'd have to go out 16th in the qualifiers, which I think is fairly unlikely considering I'm the only driver to make it to every final so far. Just quickly, before we do head to Loheac, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you do subscribe with notifications on for all my brand new Dirt 4 Rallycross style content.
Alright, have a good race, stay sharp.
Here we go, we're on the grid for Q1 on the outside with the normal culprits on the inside, Cheecher, Marklund, and Rene Munich as we get ready to race in Loheac. And we're green for Q1, a very long hold as Cheecher gets a better start from us than third on the grid as we go very sideways in to turn number 1 as now we're trying to fight with Anton Marklund. Can we get up his inside as we head down in to the hairpin, a bit squirrely on the brakes as we are racing with Rene Munich. No one's going to the Joker, and in that position, I think that is definitely our best choice. Get out of that traffic as we're getting so sideways. The car has become a little bit tailier than it felt like it was in practice. I will admit I have not played dirt in a fair while since I last recorded, but I did do, I think it was almost 18 laps of practice, 3 rounds of 6, just to get a feel for this game again. This car's got a little bit tailier than I do remember as through turn number 2, we're just getting too wide there as I was looking cheekily around the outside of Marklund, but down into the hairpin, up his inside, nice and easily, a little bit of contact, but I think we do get that move done, and now we set our sights on Rene Munich just up ahead of us as I'm trying to get a feel for this game. The first few qualifying sessions might be a little bit rusty, but we should find our feet by the end of it. Oh, he's going slow on the run down to the hairpin, and an easy move up the inside, but I have overshot it. I thought he was braking a little bit early, and he definitely was. We get the much better launch off there. Better acceleration out of the hairpin, up his inside, into the long right-hander. Careful of that wall. It just juts out a little bit at the end, and you just have to think about ever so slightly. We're now at the end of lap number 3. 1 lap to go, and we're up into the lead of our qualifying 1 race. Here we go, through the final corner and up to the line to end Q1. We win our race with a time of 2:21.1, but where does that stand us compared to all the other drivers? It was a little bit scrappy there, I will admit, but it is good enough to win Q number 1, surprisingly enough by just over a second to Rene Munich, who finished just behind us on track. So a very good race there for Group D as we take a 1-2 finish there. Here we go, Q2, we are starting on pole position thanks to our win in Q1. In the fastest race, of course, we have Rene Munich, Kevin Eriksson, and Davy Jani to our left-hand side as we get ready to race. And we're green in France yet again. Not the best start as we head down towards turn number 1 as we're getting very sideways through the first corner, and we've dropped almost down to last place. We're looking around the outside of Jani, and oh, we've thrown that off the road pretty much. A shocking start from pole position. We might dive into the Joker as it looks like Kevin Eriksson is jokering from the lead, which is an interesting strategy considering he was in the lead of this heat race. He's gotten a little bit wide, possibly in the wall. Can we look up his inside, possibly down into the second last corner? Yes, we can. And we make that move stick and go a little bit scrappy there, trying to work out where he was going through all the dust and all, because he was going quite slowly after the contact with the wall. But we're now the lead car that has jokered on the circuit. We've got Munich and Jani to worry about, and they are very close in front of us right now. It looks like Jani is going for the joke now, so we need a big push on the outside line, the regular lap, as Munich is going quite slowly in to the right hander we go. We have to have 2 jabs at the steering. Oh, we're going to plow that Peugeot. It's been a little bit too deep, and Jani has re-emerged just in front of us as we head through the final corner. We're not quite close enough to slip up the inside at 1. Right on the back of Rene Munich, and we're going to go up his inside, down into the hairpin. He's going to be peeling off into the Joker anyway, as it is the final lap. It's going to be interesting on the merge. We did just get up ahead of him, but it is a very short Joker here at Loheac as we head down into the last couple of corners on lap number 4, taking a little bit too much curb there as we're in behind Davy Jani, and we're not going to be able to do too much about the Frenchman in the French Peugeot in France. But we set pretty much the exact same time as we do in Q1, so that should set us up for a decent result here in Q2, and it is in fact 3rd place. I can definitely be happy with that, as Niklas Gronholm actually wins in the Fiesta from the slowest race as well in Group D. Here we go, Q3, we're in a Peugeot sandwich. Jani to our right, Kevin Hansen, the young gun, to our left. And then, of course, we have Niklas Gronholm all the way to our right on pole position as we start out of slot 3 for Q3, and we are ready to race. And we are green again. Not the best start. I've really not mastered the starts here on dirt. And we're just going to have to try to slot in, be a bit cautious through turn number 1, possibly get under Kevin Hansen, but we are just too wayward through turn number 1. I found the car to be a little bit loose through the first couple of corners, and then it sort of comes good later on in the race. And maybe I should have jokered there, but I didn't really feel like following the leader into the Joker like I did in Q2, as now we have the 2 Peugeots battling, and no way is he going to do that. Gronholm jokers and re-emerges in the lead of this race. He is surely won at least this race, if not all of Q3 now. He's going to have such a good run all the way through to the flag, and he was so quick in Q2 right there, as we are starting to struggle just a little bit. And I think if no one jokers, we need to get out of this traffic. Can we look up the inside of Kevin Hansen? Oh, we've actually knocked it down into first gear as they're both going joker, as I was looking up the inside of Kevin, and that got very scrappy. It's going to be interesting on the exit. They could be close as we are getting very close to that red wall. We're up the inside of the Peugeot. A little bit of contact through the second last corner, and we get that move done, but we still have to joker. You need to remember, so we're going to go hard on this lap. We're going to look around the outside of Gronholm. That's not going to quite work, and that's going to ultimately lose us time. Maybe not the best choice right there. Maybe up his inside, down into the hairpin. It's only lap number 3, so we don't have to joker just yet. We can go for another lap. We've got the clean air now. Right, here we go. Hold it tight through the exit of the hairpin, and into the Joker we go. We need to keep a nice and clean Joker. Careful of that outside wall when we come back. Trying to drift wide and block, and we are comfortably in the lead somehow. Not too sure how that has happened considering how close things were, but up to the line we go to win our race with a time that's actually better than what we've done in Q1 and Q2, which is quite surprising. I felt I was a bit wayward in that race and things didn't really go to plan, but it all turned out okay, I guess you can say, winning that race, and we get a top 3 from Group A there in Q3, so we should be very comfortably on top of the overall qualifying results as we do go into Q4, and we are definitely 12 points ahead of Jani, then Gronholm, Eriksson, Munich, Kevin Hansen, Markland. Where is Timmy Hansen? Timmy Hansen is in 15th place. He's the only driver that can mathematically beat us in the in the championship. And I think right now, even if he does just scrape through into the semis, I'm going to take the title. Here we go, the final round of qualifying Q4, and we are back on pole position here in the fastest race of them all. Janie, Gronholm, and Markland line up beside us as we are ready to race. And we are green for Q4 here in Loheac, and again, we just don't get the start that we want down into turn number 1. Janie getting a much better launch than us as the car is getting so sideways in this opening lap. I don't know why it is. I have said that the Citroen is probably the craziest of all the cars we do have on this game in terms of control, and I am definitely experiencing that firsthand right now as we do get past Gronholm as Janie goes for the Joker, and he actually does re-emerge in front of us as we shove it up his inside. That was a little bit aggressive, and now it looks like Gronholm is trying to come back at us. This is some proper rallycross stuff here. A lot of door banging at the end of lap number 1, but we find ourselves in the lead of this race. We do have cars behind us, right behind us, that have jokered. That's the handbrake button, that's the look back button. Different controls on different games are confusing me a tad there, and that's going to cost us a tiny bit of time. But now we have the clean air, get our heads down, hopefully pull enough of a gap to Joker and come out ahead of Janie. Here we go through the hairpin, and we pull off into the Joker lap over the jump through the chicane now. Careful of that bright red wall on the outside, and we should easily slot back into first place in this race, which we do. Now one more corner to navigate, and we should easily be top qualifier, I do believe, up to the line. There we go, a 2:18.4. Another 2 seconds quicker than I think we did manage in Q3. So that is a very nice result there. The clean air really helping us, and we do in fact take Q4 there, just under 2 seconds ahead of Kevin Eriksson. And where is Timmy Hansen? So he's up in 5th place. There is the chance he's made it through to the semi-finals. I guess we are about to find out. Here we go. We do go top qualifier by 20 heat points there, which is quite a significant amount. First in Q1, Q3, and Q4, and third, I think it was, in Q2. Dominance here in Loheac in the qualifying round. Janie goes through in second, a local driver in a local car. He will definitely be a fan favourite. Shishirit also doing well for him. Kevin Eriksson and Gronholm, I should mention, in the Fiestas. We've got the Hansons, or Kevin Hansen going through, both Hansons going through in 8th and 10th. So they're going to be in the same semi-final. A bit of brotherly love going on there. That'll be interesting to see how that plays out on track. And then the two Latvians just scraping through, and then, oh my lord. I've been focusing on Timmy Hansen as we've gone through the qualifying heats for obvious reasons, but just look at who's been knocked out. Solberg, Kristofferson, Loeb, and Baccarat. In what world are those four all knocked out in the semi-finals? Baccarat didn't get any points in Q1. That will explain him. But still, he didn't have great results, and the other three as well. That is one thing I want to see addressed a bit in Dirt Rally 2.0. They have the official license. That's great. They put the drivers in. They put the liveries in. That's fantastic. But they need to bring something in from what they do on F1 and actually sort of model the drivers around their real-life personas and their real-life results and their real-life performances, just to make the game feel a bit more realistic, a bit more like you are playing an official rallycross game. You know, you have Kristofferson out there doing really, really well at the start. You have Ekstrom, I should say, getting very, very aggressive. Solberg just sending it into the Joker and somehow making it stick, and you just don't understand how. These things need to come through into the game a bit more than they do on Dirt 4. But anyway, we make it through to the semi-finals, and I guess we're going to go racing again. So we are heading into the semi-finals. Now I have quickly totted up the points after the qualifying rounds here at Loheac, and I am now 29 points of Timmy Hansen going into these semi-finals, with only 14 points left up for grabs at a maximum. So I've won the championship. It has ended up a little bit like one-sided, I guess. Like, I haven't even been that dominant. I've only won one round, but I've just been consistent. I've made it to every single final, whereas the AI haven't been that consistent, I guess. You know, some races, some AI are quicker than others. It's not so much like the real life where you get the similar sort of drivers making it through to the finals. Like, look at this round. The four drivers that got knocked out. Like in this championship, Kristofferson is 15th in the championship. He got second in qualifying in Montalegre. He won his semi, he came second in the final, and then only once has he actually made a semi-final since then. Every other time he's been knocked down in qualifying. That's what I mean, it's just a bit all over the place, and I think Codemasters definitely need to work on the performance of the individual AI based on their real-life counterparts in this game, just to make it a little bit more authentic and make it a little bit more enjoyable. Obviously, it's really enjoyable. The championship might be one-sided, but the on-track action has been fantastic, and hopefully we can have some more of that today as we head into the semi-finals. Let's stop talking about Dirt Rally 2.0 as we have a little bit of business to sort. Now, semi-final, we are in semi-final 1 on pole position with Kevin Eriksson alongside us, and there's Shishrit and Marklund behind us, and Timizyanov and Baumanis, I should say, rounding out the grid. And then if we look across to semi-final 2, Jani and Gronholm on the front row of the grid, Rene Munich and Kevin Hansen there on the second row, Kevin's brother Timmy right behind him alongside Rainis Nitish. Here we go, it is semi-finals time here in Loheac, up to 6 drivers, up to 6 laps. This is where things get serious. It's no longer against the clock, it's all about on-track position, and we are ready to race. And we're green for semi-final number 1. How has our start been? It has been reasonable. We're pitted into turn 1, and we're sent into a spin, and we're all the way down into last place right off the start. This is not what we wanted at all, and now I think we're just going to dive into the joke, get as much clean air as we possibly can. Hopefully not too many other drivers doing it. It looks like only Kevin Eriksson is off the front of the field, which is a little bit surprising. Oh my lord, this car is getting sideways. This car is a little bit hard to predict at times, I will be honest. Sometimes it slides more than I feel like it should, especially compared to some of the other rallycross cars here, which are less slidey and more predictable. That's part of the fun of this career mode, how I am doing this series, trying all the cars, working our way up, as now we are alongside Anton Marklund. We are looking to the outside, down into the hairpin, and there's not too much we can do there, as now Baumanis is getting very, very wide. Marklund is looking up his inside, and we are just sending it right around the outside into this fast right-hander. What can we do? Shishrit is still up our insides. We give a big punt to the back of that mini as we're side by side with, I think it is Anton Marklund, into the final corner side by side with the VW, getting a little bit of a hit from Baumanis. Shishrit is going quite slow, and Marklund is up his insides, that's going for a switchback. We are really getting caught up in this fight as Timizyanov has pissed off at the front of the field, but a little gap there, and we thread the needle down into the hairpin in the braking zone, and up into second place we now go. And breathe. And breathe. That was a little bit chaotic, and actually Kevin Eriksson has also got away with Timizyanov, so we're actually up into third place. I do apologize for that, and of course Kevin Eriksson went for the Joker right at the start, and he managed to get through that chaos a lot quicker than we did, so it looks like we should be on for third place. We're way too far back to get Timizyanov. There's a little bit of time to reel in a little bit of ground, but not enough. But third place should see us through to the final. Not where we want to be starting considering our qualifying performance, but it should make the final a little bit more interesting nonetheless. With the championship sewn up already, we just want to have a lot of fun on track, and that was a little bit hectic here in semi-final number 2. But some good, proper rallycross action, I guess you can say. I feel like I can hear a car to my left, and that is Baumanis, I believe it is, who's just gone right around our outside and has royally mugged us off there at the end of the penultimate lap, and now we've dropped down to 4th place, and we're at risk of not making a final. For the first time in this series, I heard his engine going around the outside, and sure enough, he was going around our outside. I did not expect that at all, and that was stupid. That was stupid. Absolutely hot-headed moment there as I went super late on the brakes, and now I think we could miss out on the final berth here in Loheac. The first time that will have happened in that series up the inside. We're going to go of Baumanis, try to muscle him out the best we can. I think we might have just grasped this final opportunity into third place, and oh my lord. That was stressful at the end. Baumanis came out of nowhere with some insane pace. I heard his engine coming down the straight to my outside, and sure enough, he just sent it around her outside. I did not see that coming at all, and we had to fight. But we've actually made it through to the final. We've kept our run. You can see Shishrit. He's the culprit there, spinning us off at turn 1. Maybe I did move across on him a little bit. I didn't get a proper look at that, as I was a bit focused on talking to you guys. but a hectic semi-final. And that sets up what should be a very entertaining final here in Loheac as we just make it through. I think that's the closest we've come to not actually making it through to the final, which is a little bit crazy. But here we go. Let's see the results and the results of the other semi-final. I forgot to click them, didn't I? I'm smart. I'm really smart. I forgot to check the results of the other semi-final, but it looks like Timmy Hansen's made it through because he's joining us on the back row of the grid as Timizyanov and Gronholm line up on the front row. Ericsson and Munich there on the second row, and myself and Hansen at the back. So it must have been Kevin... No, it was Nitish I was racing. Sorry, I'm getting really confused here. I am recording this at midnight, so what do you expect? But anyway, we have a final on our hands, and we're lining up alongside my favorite driver in the real-life World Championship, Timmy Hansen, and we have 3 Ford Fiestas right at the front. Here we go, it is time for the final of season number 1 here in Loheac. Somehow we've made it to every final so far, and we're doing this one last time in this Citroen DS3. We are ready to race, starting at the back of this 6-car field. Not quite the back, technically 5th. I'd actually prefer to be 6th because I can send it around the outside as we head down towards turn number 1 as we go green. Up the inside of Timmy Hansen we go. Try to keep in this car as straight as I can on this opening lap because I found it to be a little bit wayward in the early phase of a race. But up the inside, down into the hairpin, we do go a little bit of contact as someone dives off into the Jokers. We've muscled our way up the insides. Now we have a little bit of contact with Gronholm down the straight. Looks like Timizyanov is actually going to rejoin somehow through the Joker and into the leads. We go for a switchback on Gronholm. Can we do this around the outside of the final corner? No. We're going to get out into the gravel, and that is going to hurt us big time. Is Ericsson sending it up our inside? No, he is not. And I think if Gronholm doesn't Joker, I might just Joker, but I have headed to the outside, which is going to make getting across to the Joker a little bit awkward, so I'm just going to play it safe and not go for that just yet and try to hunt down Timizyanov. And it looks like Gronholm might have joked. He seems to have just disappeared a little bit from, well, I can't hear him. He doesn't seem to be pressuring us like he was as we are now on the back of Timizyanov. The end of lap number 2 on to lap 3. We get a good run out of there, but just nothing to do with it, and everyone but myself has now Joker, and I kind of feel I should jump into the Joker, get it over and done with. I think I pulled out a little bit of a gap on this lap. That was a decent lap, except for getting a little bit wide. So here we go, into the Joker, over the jump. We go a little bit wide through the first part of the chicane. I have to jump on the brakes. We clip the red wall, our worst Joker so far. We clip the red wall again. We do re-emerge in second place. It is now down to me and Timmer fighting for this victory. It is a Citroen DS3 versus a Ford Fiesta. Down into turn number 1 we go. We have 3 laps to go here at Loheac. What can we do about the Russian? Can we go up his inside, down into the hairpin? Yes, we can. A nice, easy move. Try to hold it tight on the exit so we can't get back up our inside. And he doesn't. And now we're in to the lead. But can we hold it? That is another question. Oh, that was the last lap. Sorry, I lost count of the laps there. There we go, we've won. We've won our second event of the entire... Was that even our second event win? Have we won an event? No, we haven't even won an event, I don't think. I do apologize. That's our first event win of the actual season. The first time we've won in a final, and I didn't even realize it. And I lost count of the laps and didn't realize I was crossing the line to win. Well, that is a little bit embarrassing, but there we go. We managed to win in Loheac. That final did get a little bit on the boring side at the end there, as I did pull out a bit of a gap on Timizyanov. I did make a little bit of a mistake on the final lap, and I thought it was lap number 5, but it turns out it was lap number 6, and we managed to hold on to the lead of the race and go on to win our first race of the season. So we had a big scare in the semi-finals, but then we got through and dominated the final, so I can be very happy with that. Timmy Hansen making it up onto the podium, of course. Timizyanov there in second place. And it was Ericsson, Gronholm, and Munich at the back of the field. So there we go, finally winning a round of the championship. That makes me very, very happy. We made it to every final, but in the first round we only came 5th in the final. Then we got into the podium in round number 2 with the 3rd place. Another 3rd place going into the next round, and we got up into 2nd last weekend, and now we finally stand on the top step of the podium. But that consistency has definitely won us the championship here. I'll put the full championship standings on your screen. I haven't added them up just yet, but I do know for a fact I am the champion, and I am almost certain that Timmy Hansen is sitting there in second place. It has been an interesting championship, well, interesting racing, not so much the championship because, like I said, it's just been a bit inconsistent. Like, it hasn't been completely, the AI being randomized a bit. I don't feel like it's based on any real-life performance, the AI in this game, which is a bit of a shame, and hopefully that's something they address in Dirt Rally 2.0, but still, it has been very, very enjoyable Season 1 of this series, and now, so it is time to buy our car for the next season. This is the dealership with all the World RX cars. We have already won the championship in the Citroen DS3. We can tick that off the list. The cheapest car in this game terms of supercars in the World RX category. And next up is the Mini Countryman. A bit odd, we're stepping up theoretically in car based on cost from the DS3, which, you know, won the championship with Peter Solberg, to the Mini Countryman that has never really done anything in World RX, but that is what the game dictates. Then I think it is the Ford Fiesta and the Seat we get to choose from. Then we head to the Peugeot, which is my favorite car in the game so far. I do really enjoy the way that handles. Maybe it's because I support them in real life and I've driven probably the most laps in that car. I don't know, but I do like that car. Then we move to the Ford Focus, and finally up to the very dominant nowadays Polo. Not so dominant back then, but still a very, very quick car. But now we have to buy a Countryman. Yes, I don't want to do this, but yes, that's what we have to do. Oh, okay. Right, let's try that again. Are you sure you want to buy the Mini Countryman? No, I'm not sure, but I need to do it for this series, I guess, because that's how I did map it out to make it work. And there we go, it is now in my beautiful green, red, and black livery, just like the DS3 that we were running. And I will say it does look nice in that livery. I quite like the livery I've put together with the very basic controls we do have in the Create a Team thing. But next up, we head into the new season, into the Mini Countryman, and we head back to Montalegre in Portugal. Probably one of my favorite tracks on this game. It just has a really nice flow to it when you do get it hooked up. But that is going to do it for today, guys. If you guys have enjoyed this video and this whole series, make sure you do leave a like. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you do subscribe with notifications on, so you know when every episode of this series does go live in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you later.